If you're a Houston fan today, part of that jury, you believe Houston could have won all 4 games. Can't believe they didn't. If you're a Golden State fan this morning, you believe we should have won all 4 games. I'm not a fan of either. So I think I can be totally objective here. Here's what I saw, and I'd worry if I was Houston. Last night, the officials did allow more physical play. They allowed the Rockets to muck it up, as they say. Houston also played much crisper basketball. For Golden State, Klay Thompson was atrocious. Steph disappeared for 2 quarters. Andre Iguodala was as bad as he can be. Golden State's bench, not great to begin with, was awful. And yet on the road, Golden State got 2 great looks to tie the game from their 2 best shooters. If I'm Golden State this morning, I actually feel great. It doesn't happen very often in sports when I go on the road, lose both games, and I'm flying home thinking, we're good here. First of all, Game 3 went to overtime. Biggest game in the last 10 years for the Houston Rockets. Second biggest game last year, Game 7, the biggest against Golden State. And that game went to overtime. Last night, the refs allowed more physical play. I'm not saying the refs won it, but they allowed the Houston style. As Steve Kerr said after the game, Houston's got middle linebackers. We got volleyball players. Okay, the refs allowed bang on KD, be physical, and the refs allowed it. And they often do allow that at home. Klay was atrocious. Steph was mostly bad. Draymond Green had 2 awful fourth-quarter turnovers. The Warriors shot 24% on threes. Between Klay and Steph, they were 5 for 20 beyond the arc, and Golden State got great looks to tie that game. How did that game almost go to overtime? Houston was the better team for 3.5 hours. And I'm sitting there, Houston was up 10 with 4 minutes to go. I mean, if I'm Golden State, remember, Golden State doesn't have to win in Houston. Game 5 and Game 7, those are at Oracle. Last year, Golden State got down in this series, down 3-2. They had to win a road game. They do not have to win a road game. Golden State's good here. Now, are they being pressured? Yes. Is Steph's dislocated finger a problem? Yeah, he's shooting 12 for 46 on threes. I'd say his dislocated finger is not doing him any favors. That's not an excuse. That's a reason. He's got a dislocated finger. I mean, James Harden does have a red eye, but it's not a dislocated finger. It is a little concerning that Steph is 12 for 46 on threes. He's just not shooting well. And it's not just that he's missing open threes, like lots of them. This is not a joyless team this morning. If you can play as bad as Golden State did, I mean, has Klay Thompson ever been that bad? Iggy was awful. The bench was bad. Steph couldn't play for about 2 quarters. And the referees, this is just part of the NBA. When you're at home, physical teams tend to get a few more calls at home. And this Houston team is built to be physical. I mean, Tucker's not your typical NBA player. He's a middle linebacker with a jumper. And the refs kind of let him have it. But I would feel great if I'm Golden State today. Let's shift to this. Milwaukee is putting a stranglehold on Boston. So yesterday I talked about something all day. My mantra, we were not on TV. We were on the podcast, radio, so forth. But my mantra yesterday was, don't confuse talent with valuable. A lot of times, talent is valuable. But some people are just talented and don't necessarily play well with others. I'm going to give you 3 stats in the NBA. And these are not just, let these soak in. Number 1, when KD scores over 40, the Warriors are 6-7. So the best basketball team on the planet isn't just average. They're well below their level of excellence when KD has his best nights. It doesn't work that way when Steph has his best nights. They're like 12-3. Let that soak in for a second. Don't let it just fly past you. The Warriors are bad when KD's at his greatest. Here's a second one. The Raptors were 17-5 without Kawhi Leonard. Excuse me? No, their winning percentage is significantly higher when Kawhi didn't play this year. Don't make excuses no matter how much you like him. Let it soak in. Number 3, the Boston Celtics Their points per game, their field goal percentage, their winning percentage, all goes up when Kyrie Irving doesn't play. Let all three of those soak in. Folks, sometimes people are so gifted, this was often the problem with Kobe, that you reduce the other excellent pieces around you. Boston has one player, one A player, Kyrie Irving. He is an A. And then they got a bunch of B guys. Gordon Hayward's a B, Jason Tatum's a B to a B minus to a B plus, depending on the night. Al Horford's a B, B minus. They are reduced to C's on many nights with Kyrie Irving. Boston's absolutely worse with Kyrie. Their efficiency stats drop. They're 12-3 when he doesn't play. They shoot worse without him on the floor. The assist numbers go down through the floor. It's hard to get your brain wrapped around this. But there are two types of superstars in the NBA. The number one group is, and we love these kind of guys. These guys are alpha. They're very much our guys in America. We're aggressive as a country. Canada's nice. We're not so nice. We're aggressive. We like alphas. The first type of superstar in the NBA is get a bucket guy. Kevin Durant's the best in the world. Michael Jordan was the best ever. Kobe was the best ever west of Chicago. Kyrie Irving's a top 5. Kawhi Leonard may be number 2 in the NBA. Get a bucket, guys. Alphas. And we love them. We yell at LeBron when he doesn't take the last shot. The second type of superstar is a playmaker. On his best nights, the team also flourishes. LeBron James, Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, the Joker in Denver, CP3. But in America, we tend to like get a bucket star. But remember in school on your report card, there was always that doesn't play well with others. I've said this before. Kawhi Leonard's amazing. So is Kevin Durant, but they don't always play well with others. Toronto was 17-5 without him. The Spurs won a bunch of games when he didn't play. Remember those numbers? You do. We talked about it for years. And Kevin Durant, by the way, they're 6-7 when he goes off. Kawhi Leonard has the ball in his hands constantly. He averages 3 assists a game. His usage rate is among highest in the league. And he averages 3 assists. I'm not even playing, and I'm only 3 behind him. So this Celtic loss, it's on Kyrie. He's a get-a-bucket guy. Brad Stevens, it should be noted, is not a get-a-bucket coach. This roster is filled with guys who often need each other to play their best basketball. And Kyrie just needs a ball, and it doesn't work. And I thought it would, and I thought it would get better, and I'm wrong, and it didn't, and it hasn't. Again, KD's the best basketball player right now in the world, but he's a get-a-bucket guy. On his best nights, the Warriors have a losing record. Kawhi Leonard's the second best get-a-bucket guy in the world. He's a very good two-way player, but the Spurs and the Raptors have won a lot of games without him. How many games does Denver win without Jokic? I'm not sure they're a playoff team. In fact, I'm pretty sure they're not. And Kyrie Irving, he's a get-a-bucket, he's an A. He's a get-a-bucket guy. But he turns all those B pluses, B minuses around him into C's. They just stand around and observe him. This is on him. Milwaukee's better. They play better defense. Giannis is playing out of this world. They actually have a bench that can score. But you want to be the man, this is what the man looks like. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.